on my way to go check a field, see if the guys can get through and put fertilizer down today. Yesterday was a questionable day. We maybe could have gotten in and tried to work some ground, but like right here, there's a piece that was worked. She's awfully cloddy. It was just too wet. You could have done it, but you weren't going to be happy with yourself. They kept dropping the chances of rain overnight, and we really thought we're just going to be better off if we wait till tomorrow. Let's wait. They were dropping the chances of rain overnight. Well, we got a 1/4 inch of rain overnight. So we will be waiting again today, but nothing you can do. You just got to keep pushing forward, but it's frustrating. I'm out walking through my brother's farm right now, seeing if I think we can get the guys to get fertilizer on it. I think it'll work, but she's not any too dry. She clumps up pretty good yet. This ground was ripped last fall. They had corn on it. This was going to go to all beans this year, and the farmer that had it before practices traditional tillage. He goes through, he rips everything in the fall, comes back through with a field cultivator in the spring before he plants his beans. And the big thing that they say with that is that you're breaking up that compaction. The problem is you're also making it that much softer. You're not setting a floor. So as deep as those tines went, if you start to sink, that's how deep you're gonna sink. Versus if you're doing like a minimum till or a reduced tillage situation, you kind of set that floor in there. So if I only ever till to 3 inches deep, I sink those first 3 inches, and then I've got a little bit of a floor that can kind of support me. I gotta believe they can get through it. They've got big LSWs on the sprayer. I'm gonna tell them to go, cross my fingers and say a prayer that they don't get stuck. If they do, I'll go get the 96 and pull them out. Just got to another farm. This is a mile to the north of where I just was on my brother's, and they got more rain right here. I don't know if you can see, she is pretty wet down in there, and we have no wind today, which is not helping matters. It's going to be warm, so we've got that going for us, but this was dry all through here. I could have gotten all the way to that waterway, everything from there up to where I am. As you go to the other direction from where I am, it would have worked just fine yesterday, up until there's another waterway down there that would have blocked us, but she's wet. Hopefully this warm weather, maybe if we can get a little bit of wind later. I got to get this done this week. Picked up the sprayer tender trailer. We're hauling this with a different vehicle this year. I was used to hauling it with my brother's pickup. He's got airbags in the back. I went to go hook onto this, and I had to stop and move the hitch down as far as it would go so that I could get the jack out from under it. But it's gonna work. We've got to go spray burn down on a farm that's quite a ways away, so yeah, we'll see. Sprayer tender trailer's all loaded up. This is what we use. It's just a little 1,200 gallon trailer. We've got 3 cones on it. The front 2 we use for Roundup, and sometimes Sure Start or Staunch is the generic that we get. The other one has a jug knife in, and that's what we use to introduce our chemicals through this system. Last year we had some problems where this pump didn't want to run right. The other pump didn't want to run right either. We started looking at stuff. We ended up figuring out that with all the rain last year, we had some water that got into the gas tanks, and that's why they didn't want to run. I started this pump up just a little bit ago and it sounded terrible. I'm going to try again here, and just see what it sounds like. But I have a feeling I'm gonna have to siphon the gas out, put new gas in there. How it's doing that? It shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I thought it fixed itself for a second. I'm gonna drain the gas out. We'll replace it. Hopefully that makes it better. You see that little layer at the bottom there? If I tilt it this way, you can see it a lot better. That's water. That should not be in the tank. I'll put new gas in, run it for a little bit. I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot better. Time to see if it runs any better now. So a little bit of that kind of up and down I expect, because I've got it pulling just against air right now. It sounds better than it did before. At least it did. It'll be good enough. We only have to do one load. So I'm not gonna worry about it. We will get that one load done. It'll be fine. I'm not gonna tear into that engine. I did that last year. Ended up being pointless. The engine was fine, just had water in it. And I'm sure it's running a little bit of water through it yet. It'll make a noise like that. We have to provide a little bit of back pressure as we fill to get our rinse nozzles in our induction cone with the jug knife to work. So I'm used to it making that noise, kind of. I'm not gonna worry about it. If you're like us and you just have a little 1,500 gallon tank, how do you keep up with the sprayer? You run lots of hoses all through a manifold so you can fill it fast enough. We have one coming from right there, one coming from over by the barn, and one coming from my house. They all go into this manifold, and it all goes up right there and into the tank. If you live in town and you're complaining about your water bill, I'll switch you for the next couple months. I'm taking off, heading to go fill my brother up with the sprayer. When I get back, it sounds like I'm gonna try to plant a little bit. So we just have maybe 25 acres that's ready on one farm. It's a wet farm. It's all cut up. It's kind of a mess, but if we can get that in, I did have the globe and multiple things out of that tractor, so it will be a nice test, especially knowing that I have all night to get 24 acres in. It'll be nice to run that a little bit, make sure that we're all good to go with that, make sure that there's no problems that we need to be concerned about. We may go work another farm. We're gonna have to see. It'll be close. I don't know for sure if we can quite get in there yet, but we will find out. If we can do that, that gives me a farm to go and start working on right away tomorrow morning. I will say, last year I was pulling this with my brother's F-150 with airbags on the back. That F-150 had the 3.5 EcoBoost. This thing is a dog compared to that. That one you could drive however fast you wanted. It had all the power in the world to pull it. This, not so much. This F-250 is hating life right now. This trailer is heavy. I'm climbing a hill on gravel and it's nasty. I don't know if you can hear that engine. She's not healthy. didn't film this because I was trying to hurry up because I was pulled over on the side of the road here. But I cracked a bolt on one of the clamps on the sprayer tender trailer. Thankfully, it was just water that I was dropping all over the road, but so that was an important one, because if that one comes off, the hose drops and it's running on the ground. So I stole a clamp, or I stole a bolt from another clamp. Not a fun trip home, but it is what it is. I just felt bad because as I went through Elvord, some guy was waving at me like crazy. I just waved back. Finally looked in the mirror, in the other mirror, saw I was leaving a nice trail of water, but at least it was just water. It wasn't 32% or anything like that, so that's good. I'm going around the outside of this little field. It's only about 20 some acres, and I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna have half of it done by the time I get the end rows done and go around all the wet spots. Last pass of end rows going in right now. That only took forever. Out of my 20 some acres, I ended up with 5.5 right there, just trying to do end rows. It's ridiculous, drives me nuts, but oh well, whatever, I guess. I'm going around a curve here. I'm gonna let you watch that hitch. See how that works. So you can see it moving from one side, and now I'm guessing it'll start to straighten out again. The two of them work together, the tractor and the hitch, to make sure that the planer is in the correct spot. So it's kind of cool. I don't know, I like it. It seems to be working well now. The wife picked me up supper. Pretty good. In a few minutes, I'm going to try to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to try to plant and fly the drone at the same time. I see other guys doing it. These are about the longest, straightest rows that I have on this farm that I can try to do it, so we'll give it a shot. Caramel shake, by the way. Really good. Well, I was gonna try to fly the drone. I was turning around on that end, and all of a sudden, big gusts of wind. There, you can see there's a big storm over there, and I'm wondering if the front just moved over top of us. There goes that idea. Bloody Rope, folks. We're done for the night. We're packing it up, heading home. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna wrap this video off at this. Basically, we had a week of sitting on our hands. Now we're back in the field. Tomorrow is gonna be a long day.